Thinking about moving to the RHAM school district? Let's explore what $500,000 can get you in Hebron, Andover, or Marlborough in today's market. Let's go. My name is Jason Boyce. I'm a local real estate agent here in Central and Eastern Connecticut, and I have passions for fitness, real estate, and family life with my wife Jasmine and our dog Holly. On this channel, we're going to cover everything you need to know about upsizing or downsizing in the state of Connecticut. Thank you for tuning in. All right, first, let's take a look at each town within the RHAM school district. Currently, Hebron median sale price is at $460,000, up 17% from last year. Current median days on market in Hebron is at 6. And right now, on average, homes are selling for 4.5% above list price in Hebron. Now in Andover, median sale price is at $355,000. That's down 9.5% from last year. But note, Andover is much smaller, and as a result, there are fewer sales. So a couple higher low sales can skew the median price. Current median days on market in Andover is at 8. And on average, homes are selling for 6.6% above list price in Andover. Now let's hop over to Marlborough, where the median sale price is at $450,000. That's up 7.8% from last year. Current days on market is at 6, and on average, homes are selling for 4.8% above list price in Marlborough. So what we're looking at is if you are looking to move into the RHAM school district, note that Hebron and Marlborough houses are selling for very similar. If you want to get into the RHAM school district and price is a thing, your dollar per square foot, your money does go a little further in Andover. You will also have less choices, as of the three, Andover is the smallest town, and therefore there will be less houses listed for sale. But your dollar can go further if that's something that matters to you. Okay, so let's take a look at some listings and see what $500,000 gets you. Now, we're going to look at active and closed sales. No, that active doesn't mean anything. It just means they were listed at a price. A house can sell for anything. It can also be listed for anything. So I put more stock in closed sales because that means we had a would-be seller and a would-be buyer that came to a meeting of the minds and a sale actually closed. But we're going to look at both. Let's start with closed sales. So in Marlborough, we had this house. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch on 1.3 acres, built in 1978. It was about 1,400 square feet above grade with about 1,200 square feet of finished basement. That's how they get the 2,600. This was listed for $400,000, but sold for $451,000. Now we covered some of those stats. A lot of houses are selling for over list price, but for $451,000, you got a ranch with a 2-car garage, sloped lot, central air, and it's overall in pretty good condition. It's a contemporary ranch, so you have some of those higher ceilings. Yeah, laminate counters, oak cabinets, tile floor, hardwood. So overall, I'd say this is an above average home. And that sold for $451,000. Here's the finished basement. Looks like the deck needs a little bit of work, and there's not much of an outside yard due to the sloping in the woods. So the exterior, not the biggest yard, and the deck needs some work. But $451,000, that's what it closed for in Marlborough, and this one sold very recently. I'm only looking at stuff that sold in the last 90 days. This closed on April 25th, 2025. So let's go back and also look. Here's another one in Marlborough, 67 Millstone. This was a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,600 square feet, no finished basement, so 1,681 above grade, built in 1980. This has separate 2-car garage. This has a little bit of a bigger yard and slightly more updated than the other one. Yeah, tile floor in the kitchen, updated kitchen with granite counters, yeah, hardwood in the rest of the house. Again, this is a ranch style, updated bathroom. Yeah, hardwood throughout the bedrooms. There is a master suite in this one. Again, updated shower again. Get a nice sunroom. First floor laundry, which a lot of people like. There's a whole house generator here, another nice perk. And nice private yard. So this house, again in Marlborough, was listed for $420, sold for $452. And then, if let's stay with Marlborough, I'll give you one more. This was a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,800 square feet. So again, no finished basement, on 1 acre, built in 1979. This was listed for $430, sold for $463. This is a contemporary. So you got 2-car garage in the front. Nice screened-in porch. Yeah, hardwood floors. You got that contemporary high ceiling in the living room. Updated kitchen. And this house, again, also in very good condition. Updated bathrooms upstairs. Master suite with vaulted ceiling and its own deck. And a nice private fenced-in backyard. So again, this house listed at $430, sold for $463, 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 1,800 square feet in Marlborough. So that's about what $500,000 gets you in Marlborough. Let's see what has sold recently in Hebron. And as far as sales, let's see, we have this one. This isn't a great comparison, but let's take a look. This sold for $475. It's 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,100 square feet, but it's on 15 acres. So the land is highly desirable. The house itself built in 1963, and this house was dated and needs quite a bit of work. So a big chunk of the sale price was due to the land. There's a pool with some issues. But land is highly desirable in these towns, and a lot of people are willing to pay a lot for land. You can see dated kitchens. Some wallpaper. Again, dated bathrooms. This completely unfinished area. So that house was listed for $499, but sold for $475 in Hebron. You also have this one in Hebron. This one was listed for $539. Then they lowered the price to $529, ultimately sold for $515. This was a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 2,500 square feet on 1.3 acres. This was built in 2001. I did show this house a number of times. Good bones, but it did not show well. It wasn't the cleanest. The pictures weren't the greatest. And when you walk through, there was a mouse infestation. There was a lot of other stuff going on, which is why this one sold for less than listed. But again, representation of what you can get in Hebron. Other similar houses that are in better condition showing, but this same size and year built time frame are generally selling in the 550 to 580 range. So keep that in mind as we're looking at this. Again, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,500 square feet, built in 2001. More than likely, if the house shows well, there's not a mouse infestation, that type of thing, you're looking in the 550 to 580 range. Now, let's look at, we have this one is currently listed in Hebron. It's been on the market for 10 days. 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,600 square feet, 4.3 acres. And there's only one picture. We can assume the inside is not in great condition. 10 days on market. It's still sitting there. Again, we will see what it sells for. What else? Let's see if we don't have, remember how I mentioned there are just so few in Andover? Here is one. Again, this is a land property. So this is 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath, 1,940 square feet on almost 9 acres, built in 1974. This property, believe it or not, listed at $399,900, sold for $495,000. So almost $100,000 over list price. This house did have a pond on it. Nice private backyard on 9 acres. Deck is large deck, but could use a little bit of love. And the inside was well taken care of, but dated. Now, we did talk about there are just a lot fewer sales in Andover. As you can see on this list, there's not a lot. The only other one is currently listed. This house, 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath, 1,600 square feet on 1 acre, is currently listed at $475,000. Now, this was listed on 4/21, so this has been on the market for a while. 2-car garage. A little dated. Appears to be in pretty good condition though. Nice French doors, hardwood floors. So hope you find that helpful. Hope that gives you a good idea of what you can get for $500,000 in Hebron, Andover, and Marlborough. Why do a video on what $500,000 can get you in the RHAM school district? Well, because RHAM stands for Regional Hebron, Andover, Marlborough. It's a highly desirable school system. It's highly rated. It serves all 3 towns. And the middle school and high school are typically rated in the top 30 high schools in the state of Connecticut. And there are a lot of clients I work with that want to move here because of the school system and the rural but community atmosphere. Now, amenities for the towns include there are a lot of parks, walking trails, hiking trails. There are some local shops and dining options. They are small, however, and you're generally, for major shopping and dining, you're going to have to go to some of the outside towns like Glastonbury, Manchester, South Windsor. There is also easy access to Hartford and major highways via Route 2. So, in conclusion, $500K does offer you some diverse options within the school district. You're not going to have a ton of options when it comes to colonials. You will more than likely be looking at ranches, raised ranches, and contemporaries. If you are interested in more listings, a personalized tour, or any information on some of these houses or these areas, contact me directly. I not only live here, but also operate my business here, and I'm happy to help out. Feel free to reach out today. My contact info will be below. If you want a deeper dive into any of these communities. I'm also going to link some of the videos I have done specifically about Hebron and Marlborough if you want to check those out for a deeper dive into those specific towns. As always, if you found this helpful, or if you know someone else who would find it helpful, please smash that like button and share it with your friends. And as always, thank you for tuning in.